You don't need everyone or really anyone to understand or approve of who you are or what you do for it to be worth being and doing. Welcome to The PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in. You've heard that saying, the best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. And honestly, I have a laundry list of things that I wish I had started years and years ago. Some of them are career related, some are personal, and all of them are lessons I hope to help you skip a few of the potholes that I stepped in. Some of these things are things that I've been doing for a little while, and some of them are things that I wish I were better about. Some are things that I'm starting right now. All of them are things that I wish I had started a decade ago. So today, on today's episode, you can expect to hear 10 things I wish I had started doing 10 years ago, with stories and a few cringe moments, some really important reminders that you can take and run with right now. Oftentimes, the things that I teach are the things that I needed to hear in the past or right now the most. This episode is meant to be inspirational, not embarrassing, although maybe it's a little bit of both. Okay, here we go. 10 things I wish I had started doing 10 years ago. We love a great side hustle here. If you've been looking for a flexible way to earn extra income without picking up more shifts, my friend REITZNER has something worth checking out. She's a PA and recruiter working with a telehealth company in a 1099 role, sharing compounded GLP-1s and soon to launch products like hormone replacement therapy. It's not an MLM, simply referring potential customers, and it's free to do. And Bree will teach you exactly how to do it. You can find her email, number to text or call, and the link to sign up in the show notes. Number 1, learn to listen to my inner knowing. There's that still small voice inside of you, your gut, your intuition, the whisper that says, this is right, or this is not it for you, or that's enough. I've ignored my inner knowing, that still small voice, more times than I can count. I've stayed in jobs, roles, and even friendships that I knew in my bones weren't the right fit because I thought I should stick it out. I thought staying was the right thing to do. If I had started honoring that inner knowing earlier, I would have made some bolder, more aligned choices sooner. I likely would have identified my professional burnout earlier and listened to those whispers that turned into shouts that my body was telling me, slow down, press pause. We can't keep going like this. Honestly, in all likelihood, I would have quit my job sooner. I'd have stopped feeling like it was my sole responsibility to fix all the things in that department, in that organization, and in the healthcare system at large, and decided to save myself sooner. Start by listening to your gut on the small things, where you spend time this Saturday, whether to say yes to an extra project, to joining the committee, to starting or giving up on the project, and build that muscle so when the big decisions come, you trust yourself and you have the ability to get quiet and tune in to that inner knowing. 2, negotiation, specifically getting good at negotiation and not fearing confrontation. For a long time, confrontation and hard conversations, including but not limited to negotiations or hard conversations at work, made me physically uncomfortable. And despite the fact that I've been coaching people on this in terms of career negotiation and compensation, see the link in the show notes if you want to book a negotiation consult with me. Despite that practice, despite that repetition, I had an experience just the other day where I was dropping the kids off at camp. We're in this drop off line. Everyone gets there early. I'm not entirely sure that getting you there early gets you out of there any quicker, but in my mind it does, because once the line starts moving, you're towards the front of it. The downside is you sit until the line starts moving. So whether that's a helpful tip or not. So the car in front, not directly in front of us, but several in front of us, clearly like distracted. So we're sitting there in line, everyone's sort of, windows down, kids are waving at each other, heads are popping out of sunroofs. It's a little bit of chaos, but no cars are moving. Counselors get there, line starts moving forward. There's this car, maybe 5 cars in front of us. The driver is clearly distracted, not paying attention. Right. And everyone in this line has somewhere to be. They've got to come home and record a podcast. They got to get to work. They got to get somewhere. It's 9 a.m. And the line starts moving and that car is stopped, and it's just stopped. And, there's like 40 cars in line, and someone starts honking, and then everyone starts honking. And I was not in a super rush this day. I think if it had a day I've been trying to get to the office, I would have been a little more like, come on, a little more road rage in the drop off line. But the honking and the fact that that person is going to be startled and embarrassed and just feel like, oh no, I'm holding up all these people. I have this like visceral reaction where I don't know. I don't love the conflict. The problem when I look back on years and years ago and wish that I had practiced this skill and sort of got comfortable with that discomfort sooner, is that discomfort and the unwillingness to step into those hard conversations kept me from advocating for myself inside of job offers and contract renewals and discussions about other duties that's assigned and extra call and covering other people's medical leaves. If I had started practicing negotiation, and do not get me wrong, negotiation is a skill, and being comfortable in those uncomfortable sort of scenarios is also a skill, and embracing that discomfort of speaking up and stepping into those places, I would have saved myself years of being underpaid and overworked. So I want to encourage you to practice stepping up in low stakes situations, maybe honking your horn. That's such bad advice. In the car drop off line, practice honking your horn as a way to advocate for yourself. But practicing when the stakes are lower, make it easier when the stakes are high. Learn to get comfortable. Even if you're not totally comfortable, learn to get more comfortable in the discomfort of uncomfortable situations. I get that was a very convoluted sentence, but sit with yourself and learn to sort of be in those rooms, be in those situations, speaking up, negotiating, advocating for yourself and others and patients. It's my assumption that when we get in those rooms, when we practice those things, with practice comes progress. So I encourage you to put yourself in situations where you get that visceral reaction and that discomfort, and practice working through it. Number 3, caring less about other people's opinions. Early in my career, a mentor bragged about the PA profession, specifically PAs in primary care. They said PAs in primary care is what we were designed to do. They're so indispensable. All PAs should go into primary care. And then she said she didn't promote PAs in subspecialty places like plastic surgery, because in her words, that's not where they belong. At the time, I was practicing, I can't remember if it was general surgery or urology, but not in plastics. And when I was deciding to pivot my career and I quit my job and I was looking for a new one, and this opportunity in plastic surgery came up, I kept remembering that person's opinion and that conversation. And for far too long in my career, I let opinions like that make me question my worth and my decisions and my place. Now, I proudly practice plastic surgery in a practice that is largely cosmetic. We don't do a whole lot of reconstruction. We're mostly cosmetic, lots of aesthetics. 99% of my patients are for Botox and filler. The most aesthetic cosmetic of all of the plastic surgery practices. I realize now that you can be doing some of the most important work in your life and someone will still not get it. It's not up to that person, that mentor, really anyone else at all to validate my life choices. They don't have to do my job. They don't have to live my life. They don't have to live with any regret. But I would if I made a decision based on someone else's opinion. You don't need everyone or really anyone to understand or approve of who you are or what you do for it to be worth being and doing. Again, not caring so much about other people's opinions is a work in progress for me. This is something that I wish I was better at. I want to be a person who does not give a shit, and I also want to be liked by other people. So, although I'm working on it, I have not arrived at the ultimate do not give a shit about anyone yet.
Are you confident you know where your next dollar should go? 403B, 457, HSA, or Roth? There are so many options. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming. A lot of providers aren't sure if their investment mix is optimized, if they're contributing enough to their investment accounts, or if they're paying too much in taxes. Meet Caleb Pepperday, a fee-only financial planner and founder of Advanced Practice Planning, LLC. Caleb helps PAs create a clear plan of action that allows them to fast-track their path to work optional living, all while keeping more of what they earn today. Caleb's process identifies the strategies that make the most sense for each PA situation and provides step-by-step guidance to put them into action. For our listeners, Caleb is offering a free one-on-one consultation where he will provide feedback on the steps you've taken in your own financial situation and if you're on track to achieve your goals. Caleb will also help you to determine if your situation warrants needing to work with a financial planner or if you're on track doing it by yourself. Head to advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI to grab your free consultation time slot. These consultations are capped each week to keep turnaround fast. That's advancedpracticeplanning.com/FI.
Advanced Practice Planning LLC is a registered investment advisor in Montana and Pennsylvania. Advisory services are only offered to clients or prospective clients where Advanced Practice Planning LLC and its representatives are properly registered or exempt from registration. Registration as an investment advisor is not an endorsement of the firm by securities regulators and does not mean the advisor has achieved a specific level of skill or ability. This advertisement is for informational purposes only and does not constitute individualized advice or a guarantee that you will achieve a desired result. All topics discussed in this podcast are the opinion of the podcast host and not of Advanced Practice Planning LLC or its advisors.
Number 4, tracking my value from day one. In my early jobs, I just worked really hard and I assumed that someone would notice or that they would know how much value I was adding. I figured that my contributions were obvious. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. In all truth, my experience has been that the larger the organization, the less of a specific idea they had of my value. And ultimately, someone somewhere is going to ask you to prove your value. And when you track your data, you are ready for that conversation. The day I started tracking my specific productivity, revenue, patient volumes, procedures performed, and outcomes was the day that I started gathering data so that I could negotiate from a position of strength. Even if you're brand new to a group, a new grad, the newest person in the department created a position just for you, document your wins, your revenue, your volume, and your impact. Future you, the one who got comfortable being in uncomfortable conversations and is negotiating for a raise, will be very grateful that you have that data. Number 5, starting to look for non-clinical pivots and side incomes earlier. It took me years to explore podcasting, coaching, speaking, writing, and have it be a revenue generating business. I wish I'd started dabbling sooner because once you have another stream of income, you have more choices, more freedom, and more confidence in saying no to the things that don't fit. The side income is great. But in my opinion, the creativity and the fun that I have had producing this show and connecting with listeners like you, that is one of the things that saved me from burnout. A little glimmer of flexing my muscles to do something other than the practice of medicine, which at the time was so unbelievably draining to me. to be able to create something on my time, on my terms. This show has saved me as much as it has served my listeners. You do not need to run out and quit your job in order to start pursuing something new or creative or different. Pick one small project and give it a test run. Try the thing. Coach the person, mentor someone, start the LLC, be a guest on a podcast, speak to a group, connect with others, and share your story. Don't do it for the money, but don't ignore the potential for freedom in your money and choices in your life if something that you enjoy doing ends up generating revenue. Number 6, seeing food as fuel. For a long time, I saw food through the lens of diet culture. Good foods, bad foods, rules to follow. Still, I can sometimes hear the voice of a nondescript adult woman referencing Weight Watchers points or being good when she eats a salad. I kid you not, I was unpacking years ago a box of things from either college or PA school, and I found a spiral bound notebook of lined flashcards with Weight Watchers points for a day's worth of consumption when I was probably 19 or 20, at a time when I was arguably at my most thinnest and also potentially least healthy. Why on earth was I trying to lose weight? Why was I tracking what I was eating at all? What a great question, and I have no ever-loving idea. Now, I am working towards seeing food as energy, as fuel and nourishment, and a way to help my body show up for my family, my work, and my workouts, fueled and ready to go. This has been really a work in progress for me. See also the topic of body positivity and learning to embrace my ever-changing body. I go back and forth between saying, I love and appreciate this body and every day is amazing and thank you for all of the things that you are doing. And also, could you do them better and be slightly smaller? So when you think about food, ask yourself, will this fuel help me show up as my best self today? Is this what I need right now? Does it feel like what I need? Am I eating in a place that is calm and measured? I am still very, very much working on that one as well. Number 7, loosening my tight, rigid, scheduled view of movement. I'm a triathlete and a skier and a runner, and probably I would identify as a burgeoning cyclist. I'm trying to love it more. And movement has always, for as far back as I can remember, from picking up a field hockey stick as like a kindergartner, been a huge part of my identity. But sometimes that movement has felt more like an obligation than a joy. Dan, my husband, will sometimes just text me and say, hey, I had a meeting cancel. I'm headed out on a run. He can just decide to go on a run on a whim. I do not know what that is like. If it's not on my schedule, I'm unlikely to do it. I love a plan. I love a schedule. I love a specific rule or something to follow. I wish I had started embracing more unstructured, just for fun movement earlier, and had meaningful and joyful movement just be integrated as a part of who I am and work it into the rhythm of life where it doesn't have to be scheduled or rigid or like following a specific plan. I think here there's room for discipline and also spontaneity. Try to make space for both when it comes to the way that you move your body. I find it's easier for me to be flexible with my movement when I've been in the habit of moving regularly. So if this is something that you're like, movement, I'm not moving at all, maybe try a set schedule for a stint. And then once you have that muscle kind of built up, both metaphorically and also physically, let it be a little more free form in the future. I feel like I'm saying this for every single one of these things, but I am still figuring this one out too. I feel like that disclaimer could apply to all items on this list and also all of the episodes ever. I don't want you to listen to this and think she's some expert, like who has everything figured out. I'm a human being and I am figuring it out right alongside you. Number 8, rest as a practice, not as a reward. This morning, my daughter told me she had a dream where she and her dad went on this crocodile chasing adventure in a a fan boat searching for these crocs, not to hunt them, but just to scare them by shouting boo, or to quietly observe them and their babies in their natural habitat. She says she was not scared as a part of this dream. And then she noted, as almost as an afterthought, and Mom, you didn't come with us because you stayed home to take a nap. Literally, during her dream, I was resting. I skipped the adventure so that I could rest as she was dreaming in her sleep. And you know what? I was proud of the me in that dream. I'm proud of the real life me who has come to embrace napping and resting my body. I'm proud that she sees rest as something normal, even for grown-ups, especially for women, and most especially for moms. I used to think that rest had to be earned. See also dessert after intense workouts. Now I know it's what keeps me going. And if I feel tired, it's okay to stay home and skip a theoretical crocodile hunting adventure, or to just rest and not do the overscheduled, overplanned activities. When you model rest for the next generation and for those around you, they're learning from you that you love and respect yourself enough to give yourself rest. Number 9, building my body of work sooner. When I think about where my podcast speaking and writing would be if I had started 10 years earlier, whew. And that's saying something because I did start 5 years ago, but 15 years of content and learning and progression would be better than 5. But here's the thing. Back when I was launching this show, back when I was just getting ready to sit behind this very same microphone, I kept waiting to be ready, to feel qualified, to feel completely 100% ready to record and edit and launch the show, to have an exact plan, to know how it would work out. Newsflash, starting is what makes you ready. Taking action makes you ready, even when you don't feel ready. Start messy. You could always refine along the way. And last, but certainly not least, number 10, setting and holding boundaries. In the early days, my time and energy leaked everywhere, all over the place, through all of these holes, or more accurately, through everywhere, because there were no boundaries around my time and my energy. Now I understand that boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're fences with gates that I open for what matters most, and they keep me in the center of my life. I'm better, still learning, but better at knowing my own limits. I'm aware of those warning signs of resentment and feeling overburdened. And those alert me to when I need to build a boundary. Whether learning to avoid overcommitment or creating tech boundaries, this too has been a work in progress for me. Every no makes room for a better yes, even if that yes is in the form of rest by taking a nap. So there you have it. Messy and in progress, true and honest, 10 things I wish I had started 10 years ago, not perfected, simply started, learned, failed at, got up, and tried again. Not to dwell on regret, but to remind both of us that today is always a good day to start. Yesterday would have been great, but just in case you didn't start yesterday, there's always today. If even one of these resonated with you, choose it. Start now. In 10 years, you'll be so glad you did. If you have a friend who could use a swift, encouraging, honest kick in the pants, do me a favor and send them this episode. Leave us a review, written and 5 stars. That helps us to know that the show is reaching you and what you like or don't like about the show. That's all for today. This PA is out. Congratulations. You've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.